Hello and welcome. I am starting a YouTube channel, and the intent is to show how to tune HP tuners, standalone ECUs, maybe some EFI Live, things like that, and also discuss modifications to vehicles, what's worth it or not. My background was electronic engineering, and my last job was at RCA Missile and Surface Radar. I worked on military R&D, and my experience is I ran a shop since 1997, and specifically on the LS platform is how we started. Engine machining, engine building, tuning, picking the combinations. Of course, in the early days, it was a little difficult because there was no tuning for it. I remember our first try was we had a mass airflow translator, which which converted the mass airflow frequency to something different, where you could add fuel, take out fuel in the bottom end, the mid range, and the top end. So that was our tuning back then. Then it was uh, basically, I forgot the name of the company. We used to send the requirements in along with the vehicles, modifications, and then they would send you a file. But most of the time, that thing was way off because at the time we had a dyno. We had just gotten a new dyno jet, and that thing was way off, and it was horrible. Then they started coming out with tuning. I think the first one was LS2 edit, and followed by LS1 edit. This is prior to, if I remember correctly, this is prior to HP tuners and EFI Live. Uh, so we ran with that. That worked. It didn't have obviously all the tables because it has to be, backward engineered and figured out what the tables do and so on, and that's not easy to do. So after that, I think it was EFI Live first. I'm not sure. So I started using that, and then followed by HP tuners. Uh, so yeah, I mean that's the progression of those ECUs. My background was in standalone ECUs before that, my own 85 L98 Corvette. Started out with a piggyback computer from Excel that went between the ECM and the engine harness, and that was followed by uh, another Excel computer that was a standalone. That was much better, but there was no wideband option for it. So all the tuning was done with basically, looking at plugs, looking at EGTs, things like that. That's all we had. But the car ran pretty decent. It managed to. It was normally an aspirated car, and it ran 10.6 at 125, which was pretty good back then on pump gas. Had air conditioning, full interior, so it wasn't bad at all. Automatic, and then now we work on the newer stuff, LT1, LT4, that type of thing. So gone through the whole gamut. One thing that helps a lot with tuning is diagnostics. Being able to, being able to know when it's not a tuning problem, but it's something else like bad ignition wire, bad plugs, injector not working right, things of that nature. So you learn over the years how to look for things like that, for problems like that that are not part of the tune. And that's I would say, if I was to put a number on it, that tuning is about, I want to put a number like 80% diagnostics, maybe a little higher than that. Sometimes you get lucky in that everything is good with the car. You don't have excessive, you know, IATs and things like that. Everything is right. So, coolant temperatures are correct. Uh, fuel pressure is there. So, because you could run out of injector, and if you have a lot of injector, you could also run out of fuel pump if you don't have enough fuel pump, and so on. So that's basically it. So my intention is basically to share some of the experience that I have. I've been tuning vehicles since, I don't know, since my own vehicle back in the early 90s, and still tuning today. So, yeah, and in the background, what I have here is just a video, some of the cars that we did many, many years ago. As you can see by the quality of the video, it's not the greatest. And just introduce myself. My name is Julio, and basically introduce myself and what I intend to do with this channel. Just give you a little history about the shop and things like that at first, and then on the next episode it'll be more tuning related. So yeah, I mean that's the shop started small. Had a great partner, Dave, and we took off. Started getting busier and busier. Started hiring people. Couldn't have done it without the crew. This crew right here. This is a picture of not everybody, but mostly the initial crew that started the shop. And none of these cars would be running without them. So I give them a lot of credit. Still friends with most of them, and I say most because some have passed on, sadly. So that's basically it. This is just going to be a short video about the shop, since I closed the shop's physical location. And what I do today is local tuning and remote tuning. And I'll be showing you what I use today for tuning. My little rig that I have with the wideband, and which wideband, and how I wired it and stuff like that, and how I go about doing a tune from scratch. Just starting from scratch, and what to look for at initial startup, things like that. You already know, obviously, from doing so many tunes, that where you want to start on a particular vehicle, whether it's LS1, 2, 3, whatever, LT1, LT4, boosted, not boosted, that kind of thing, E85, and so on. So anyway, that's my intent, and I hope you enjoy this first little video. There's not much tuning. There's no tuning in it. So yeah, that's it. See you on the next one.